But eventually we will have a break to the upside, going back to about $110,000. Fast forward a few days and that's exactly what Bitcoin has done. It has climbed all the way to $110,000 and I don't think it's done booming to the upside yet. But how about altcoins like Ethereum or Cronos? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by Interlude, the play-to-earn game on the Cronos chain. Before we dive into the charts, I quickly want to share the latest inflation numbers with you guys, because you can see here that prior we had 2.3% year-over-year inflation, but that has slightly increased to 2.4%. And that's kind of interesting because that's exactly what Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, has been warning us about, because he sees inflation rising potentially again. That's also enough fuel for him to keep the interest rates at a relatively high level. So you can see here, the Assetwatch tool is predicting that the chance of a rate cut is very, very, very slight, because 99.9% is saying no changes to the rate cuts. Even 0.1% saying, well, we might see a rate increase, but I also don't see that happening yet. But this is very important for the overall market, because without any interest rate cuts, we don't see any cheap money coming into the market anytime soon. So remember that, guys, when we're going into the charts. If we start with Bitcoin, you can see that this retest here of $100,000 really was the final shakeout. And now we're back again at about 110,000. So that is looking really bullish. What I like to see though is, for example, if you open other indicators like the MACD here, is that we only are showing a very, very small green candle. Yeah, so that means in general that in theory we can go up a lot higher. So currently we are about at 110, but I definitely see us also reaching an all-time high within the next days or weeks. It's of course hard to really predict, but I can at least say that sell in May and go away was definitely not the best strategy here. With the rise of Bitcoin, we also saw the rise of Bitcoin dominance, because what you can see here is that we are setting consistent higher highs. What I find very interesting is that we can't seem to really break through this trend line here. And on the most recent days, we've seen some bigger red candles, and those can be explained by going to the Ethereum chart. What seemed like a breakout to the downside ended up being an actual fake out, because only days later we went back here into the structure. And what I mentioned in the previous video is that often we do see a fake out in the opposite direction of the actual breakout. And it's also seeming to play out here perfectly, because we're now trading for 2 days above here this flag pattern. But we do have some resistance at about this orange trend line here. And if you've been following our videos, you must know that this is a very, very important trend line for Ethereum, because it is about 3 years old at this time. About 3 years old trend line. And this has been moving up and up and up and up. But after this crash here, unfortunately, we went to the downside. But now we might be moving up again once more. So we can actually continue this upward trend that will bring us back to the previous all-time high of Ethereum, at least if we can truly break through this trend line. That will be the real test here, not only for Ethereum, but I would say for the whole Bitcoin dominance, including also CRO. But let's talk some more about CRO after a quick word of today's sponsor. Interlude is a play-to-earn game on the Cronos chain. And the cool thing about Interlude is that you can find actual treasures with CRO in it. Normally, you need to buy that Interlude token on their website to play the game. However, right now, you can earn for free with their rate-to-earn program. You have to like, quote, comment, or retweet on Twitter to earn their in tokens for free. Check them out in the links in the description down below. Anyways, before we go deeper into the CRO token, I quickly want to share the latest news by Crypto.com, because you might have seen yesterday's video, but Crypto.com yesterday launched the credit card in the US. And that's crazy bullish news for the CRO token. Why, you would say? Well, if you want to get these juicy cashbacks of up to 6.5%, you need to lock up the CRO token. So you want cashback, big cashback, you got to buy the CRO token. So a lot of people that didn't care about a debit card might care about a credit card with quite juicy cashback. And that means potentially more demand for the CRO token. And I think that's also why I did mention here below. And this is how the CRO bull run begins. Some people might mention it to me, but Coin Baron, it's only up 2%. And if you take a look at the chart today, it's even showing a bit of red today. But in the bigger picture, guys, I gotta say, zoom out, because I think many of you people watching now, think back of how you got actually into the CRO token. Was it due to the debit card? Because for me, it was the case. That's also why I have so many debit cards here, guys. Not because I get those for free. No, definitely not. I wish. But I still believe that those credit cards and debit cards are the true utility for the CRO token. And yeah, of course, I do love the Cronos chain. But for the regular Joe, some real life utility, that's actually a real reason to get into the CRO token. Having said that, Crypto.com is just getting started with their marketing campaign for these credit cards. So don't expect any quick bust really or boom here of the CRO price. But I think a slow build up of momentum and demand also makes a lot more sense. Also for me, it took some time to really get into the card, to really decide, do I want to get one? Because especially those higher tier cards, those are quite pricey, but there's also a big boost for demand of the CRO token. Anyway, so here, I would say regarding booms or bust, we did get a bit of a little boom here because we had a breakout also to the upside, also a bit of a fake out, it seemed, on this structure. But this structure, guys, is still bullish, and it should bring us all the way up to about 12 cents. So it's a slow grind. And we might also have cemented 10 cent as true support here for CRO, because here we got the green line, which is the 10 cent level. And you see we have had quite a few attempts of breaking below 10 cents, but every time we went there, we had a good bounce. So maybe, guys, we never ever go below 10 cents anymore. So I hope you at least bought a little bit here. No financial advice, of course. All in all, I'm just very happy to see some big moves again in the altcoin space, because I do know that due to the ripple effect, when we do see a big splash for Ethereum, we also will get a big wave later for the CRO token. So guys, again, remain patient, but overall the structure is looking good. We're only really waiting for that final rate cut, and it might be as late as September, but that might be a great timing for this bull run in the later half of 2025. So guys, don't forget to really strap in, hit the like button, and if you're still wondering if you need to buy CRO in the month of June, I have made this little video here with a bit of a buying or selling guide, so check it out.